Greetings to everyone and welcome to our Saturdays with Tara Hangout on Air. I'm Mary Beth at the Law of Attraction Club and we're on the web at the LOAclub.com. On these Hangouts, we collaborate with our friends Tara. This Hangout is the summary of our theme for the week and continues on our member conference line. Today's topic, what is and where is your expectation tapestry? You can get invites to our open calls, which we offer periodically, as well as our free, powerful letting go process by going to the LOAclub.com. So now I'd like to welcome Robin, who will be bringing through Tara. So over to all of you.
Welcome. Last week we talked about creating peace on Earth and peaceful weather on Earth. And a question was raised about the nature of this thing we call your expectation tapestry and where it resides and who and what created it and how you can change it by making a new belief choice and then lining up with that choice. When we describe it that way, we're describing a process that really is that simple. But even simple processes are not easy to follow if you've developed some strong patterns of belief that sabotage your best efforts to make those changes. A little later on here today, we're all going to go on an imaginary journey, and we're warning you in advance, because we want you to pre-pave that journey right here and now. It's to a place you may never have imagined yourself being. It's a place where your consciousness is way bigger than the shape you're familiar with right now. It's back to the beginning of you as an individuated entity, back to when you first emerged into existence. If you allow yourself to come along, the experience will be profound. Of course, whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right. We say, choose to believe you can, and we'll all be off this planet, and you'll get a glimpse of who you really are. Now, of course, that's not a place, and it's not at a time, because it's where time and space do not yet exist. But we're going to use words, space-related words like place, and time-related words like yet and beginnings, because it's easier for you to get the concept. We suggest you set an intention right now to fully engage with us in this impossible feat of imagination, because nothing is impossible. What we're literally suggesting with these words is that you plug a new piece into your expectations for today, for here and now. Be ready to fly, because we'll be in a place defined by law of attraction vibration. We're going to delve into that expectation tapestry of yours. We're going to look at what you were when you started to build it, and when you continued to build it, and when you stepped fully into life on Earth. Then we're going to look at whether there are some parts of it that you're sort of stuck with, or whether you're really at choice about everything. We're going to have you understand what's in that tapestry, what's in it that you want, and what's in it that you don't want. And recognize that it's internal to you and unique to you. And as always, think once again about ways you might change it. Now, we recognize that becoming proficient at conscious creation takes focus. And in order to keep that focus, it really helps if you have a reasonable degree of confidence in your story. which is the sum of all those ideas you have about who you are and why you're here. Now, we cannot prove all of this to you because nobody can prove anything to anybody. Like any conscious entity, all we can ever do is describe what things look like from our perspective. It's up to you to decide what rings your bells and what best answers your questions. Each of you must make your own decisions about the fundamental truth of your existence. What's important is to make a decision and run with it. So what follows here is what the view looks like from our particular vantage point. Now, we understand that in your world there may be many so-called law of attraction gurus who do not fully understand these concepts. We talked about this a little last week. In part, that comes from thinking of it as a law, as some sort of arbitrary law that you can use or not use, when actually it's the universal and foundational principle that describes how everything gets shaped. It shapes the consciousness that's you and everything non-physical you could ever experience. It shapes everything that you would call physical, and that includes you and this world and every so-called physical realm there ever was or is or will be. We're calling it so-called physical because now we're going to challenge you to step a little outside the idea that there's a solid, continuous, shared world out there, because it's actually all an inside job. Here's what we know. At your core, you are, we all are, timeless extensions of the collective consciousness of all that is. What we all choose to desire and believe in creates our individual tapestries of expectation. Your tapestry defines a version of you, and each version comes with its own matching context. In your case, that's the world around you. When you choose new beliefs and expectations, you change and your context changes. In other words, that world that's out there that you seem to share with everybody else is actually your own personal virtual reality. It's a reflection of who you are, and you're creating it on the fly, moment by moment. When you woke up into it this morning, the bed, the floor, the walls, time and gravity were all there instantly, without focus or attention. And that's because, and only because, you knew at all levels of your being that they would be. You were aligned around that expectation at a conscious level and at all subconscious levels. That world matches your law of attraction vibration. From our friend Bentinho Massaro, often people take their cue from their circumstances. Circumstances are a reflection of state of being, not the other way around. Law of attraction means what you focus on in life comes to you. You create your own reality by envisioning what you want, matching the vibration of that, and then letting the universe bring it to you. So now we're getting to perhaps the least understood part of it all. That simple, then you line up with it part we started out with. So try this, and as you do, notice your conscious thought process when I say these words. What is in your awareness right now? How do you react to that word awareness? What does awareness mean? What is awareness? Now be aware of what you can physically feel right now. your feet on the floor, your butt on the seat, the clothing on your body, the air flowing in your nostrils as you breathe. And notice that none of these things were in your awareness until we called them to your attention. So there's a whole world going on you're engaged in but unaware of. It's an unconscious engagement. Now let's go up a level to the observer level. Be aware of yourself being aware of what you're thinking, of the thoughts that are coming into your head as we speak, and the decisions you're making about them. Are you beginning to see that there are many other levels and sub-levels of what we'll call your superconscious? Your expectation tapestry exists throughout these levels. And now we're going to do something remarkable. We're going to go on a journey into these levels. So get comfortable and relax. Take a deep breath. Here we go. Just as we encourage you to do in our About Face exercise, let yourself become consciously aware of your connection all the way back to Source, to all that is. Imagine you can see it. Let yourself feel it. Good. Now see your expectation tapestry extending like a huge scroll all the way back along that connection, from the here and now you all the way back to Source. Do you see it? Every part of that scroll was created by you. To be more precise, every part of that scroll was created by the particular unique version of you that existed at that particular point in your evolution. It formed out of the original conscious choices you were making at that point. So now we're going to pick 3 places on that connection, and we're going to go there. We'll describe those briefly here and now, and then in our longer discussion, we'll go through them again and take the time to let you settle in a little. Then Rachel can separate out that portion and you can have it as an audio segment. So the 3 points are: 1, when you began, your emergence from Source. And 2, before time and space at the sort of midpoint. And 3, entering life on Earth. Okay, here we go. 1, when you began, your emergence from Source. Let's put the stream on fast rewind. Allow yourself to go back and back and back. Back to the beginning. There is no space or place. There's just beingness. There's no contrast. There's just peace and energy and calmness and awareness of existence. Just let yourself be in that place. Then let yourself feel a spark of curiosity. And as you get that spark, so you begin to be you. Just let yourself be in that beginning. And notice the earliest and simplest desires you began to have. And notice the beginnings of contrast as you make judgments about this being better than that. Can you feel yourself beginning to evolve into a new version of consciousness as you make new choices? Good. Now let's skip over a zillion choices and move ahead to 2, before time and space, at the sort of midpoint. It's close to the Tara realm, still before time and space, but from this vantage point you can feel an infinity of choices of different realms surrounding you. The contrast is heating up a little. But with that comes the excitement of seeing the new adventures that are possible. Once again, can you feel yourself beginning to evolve into a new version of consciousness as you make new choices? Can you see yourself as you create this piece of your tapestry? Good. Now let's skip over another zillion choices and poise right at the point of stepping into a really focused space-time realm. We've moved ahead to point 3. Imagine how you felt within the possibility of living on planet Earth, of being in a place that seems to have boundaries and limits, and where things seem to move in an automated forward direction called time. In order to play this game, you have to let go much of your infinite awareness and settle into the shape of a limited consciousness. There's a real possibility you'll even forget who you are. But the prospect is exciting, because this is a place of stark contrasts. This is on the leading edge and promises the delicious experience of rediscovering the art of conscious creation. Good. So at each of those steps, you've been weaving that tapestry. And here and now, on any given day, almost none of it surfaces into consciousness. Think back to waking up this morning, to the moment you stepped consciously into this seemingly solid world. You knew how it would be. It wasn't a conscious knowing, but if you'd thought of it consciously, there would have been no misalignment. The bed and the floor and time and gravity are just a minuscule part of a whole raft of certainties you've created around yourself today. And along with the certainties, there are your probabilities and your possibilities and your improbabilities and your impossibilities. Are you beginning to get a sense of the way your world takes shape? You set the boundaries within which all your experiences play out. Now let's revisit our simple statement. To make a change in your life, make a new belief choice and then line up with it. Creating new things in your world is not just a matter of conscious focus. It's a matter of achieving alignment at all levels. And here's the good news. It was making those old belief choices of yours and then practicing them into fixtures that created that tapestry in the first place. Making changes is the same process. It's a matter of making a new choice. What do I want now? And then practicing that choice into all levels of your consciousness. Hope is the doorway to belief. Belief is the doorway to knowing. Knowing is the doorway to certainty and to manifestation. From our friend Bashar. Select what you prefer without judging, invalidating what you do not prefer. You become whatever you focus your attention on. To assign any meaning to anything, either a positive meaning or a negative meaning, is to invite that into your life. Being neutral about something, assigning it no meaning, is the way to not attract that reality in your life. To say, that's terrible, means you are attracting that reality. That's wonderful, means you are attracting that reality. I feel neutral about that, means you are not attracting that reality. Preference is exercising your ability to discern what is really you, what excites you, and then making choices aligned with the real you. To prefer one thing does not necessitate invalidating those other things you do not prefer. So what's in that tapestry of yours right now? The simple answer is look around you. For a more comprehensive answer, you can wander around those levels a bit. It's just a matter of getting quiet and going inside. You will know. If we had asked you what you would wake up into, you would have thought about it and you would have been able to tell us. And in similar fashion, you can know everything that's there. It may not be detailed, but if you pick a topic, you can get a sense by how you feel what you've already decided about that topic. And when you make a new belief choice, ask yourself what you really, truly expect. If it's not the answer you want, it's simply time for some practice. From Abraham. The law of attraction is responding to your thought, not to your current reality. When you change the thought, your reality must follow suit. If things are going well for you, then focusing upon what is happening now will cause the well-being to continue. But if there are things happening now that are not pleasing, you must find a way of taking your attention away from those unwanted things. As you imagine and visualize and verbalize your new story, in time you will believe the new story. And when that happens, the evidence will flow swiftly into your experience. A belief is only a thought you continue to think. And when your beliefs match your desires, then your desires must become your reality. So to reset your law of attraction vibration, the secret is to know who you are and to be ongoingly aware of the power you have to create whatever you want. First, you make a new choice. Then you practice that new choice into your tapestry and thereby step into a new version of you. That new version attracts a new matching context, which means you step into a new version of everything and intersect with new versions of everybody. There is nothing you cannot be, do, or have, and this is the process whereby you experience all of that. And now we move to our longer discussion. We'll revisit our three imagined realms. We'll talk some more about tapestries, possibilities, and certainties, and we'll answer any questions you have.
This Hangout on Air was the summary of our theme for the week. We do 3 live calls a week with Q&A for our members on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. You can become a member by going to the loaclub.com/join. So now our longer discussion continues with Q&A on our member